He was crying inside the fire. It wasn't loud, not over the crackling plastic, the hiss of steam, the chaos of hoses and radios. But I heard it, a sharp, desperate yip, almost swallowed by the smoke curling out of the green metal dumpster behind the Shell station on Fair Oaks Avenue in Pasadena, California. I froze mid-step. Another cry higher this time, not human. Sharp, alive. I dropped the hose and ran. We'd just gotten the flames under control. The dumpster had been smoldering for 20 minutes. Bags of trash, cardboard, melted detergent bottles. The heat coming off it was still brutal. And yet, under that heat beneath a half-buckled lid, I heard him, a German Shepherd puppy, just 5 months old, black and tan, sitting in the far corner of the metal bin, surrounded by singed trash bags and charred junk. His ears were flat, his ribs were showing, and his front paw was lifted off the metal like it burned to touch. I saw his eyes before anything else, locked on me, wide, pleading. He didn't bark, he didn't flinch, he just stared. And under his paw, like it was something sacred, lay a scrap of cloth, pink, gray, sigh with the faintest word stitched on it. Lily. I didn't hesitate. I threw open the lid and climbed halfway in, one foot hooked on the side, the other balancing on a slick bar of melted plastic. Heat slapped me in the face, but I didn't care. I reached toward him slow, murmuring, "It's okay, buddy. I've got you." He didn't move. Only when my hands brushed his chest did I feel the trembling. His whole body was shivering like he was caught between bolting and breaking. But he didn't run. He let me lift him gently out of the scorched metal. He was so light. I held him against my jacket, cradling that burned paw in my glove. His fur was soaked in smoke. His eyes didn't blink, but he pressed his nose into my chest slowly like it was the first safe thing he'd known. My name's Jason. I've been a firefighter in the city for 11 years. I've pulled people from buildings, animals from crawl spaces, but never, not once, have I looked into the eyes of something so small and known instantly. He didn't survive by accident. We rushed him to the mobile vet who works with local shelters. I didn't leave his side, not for a second. The assistant tried to take him from my arms, but he whimpered so hard I held him through the entire drive. His paw was burned. His whiskers were singed, but his vitals were strong, stronger than they should have been. He must have been under something, the vet said, protected from the flames, maybe hidden under a bag. But who puts a German Shepherd puppy in a dumpster full of trash? That night, as he lay wrapped in gauze on the vet's table, I looked at him. Really looked, and I knew what to call him. "Finch," I whispered. "You're small, but you made it through the fire. And whatever his story was, it wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Finch didn't sleep. Not really. Even as the vet administered fluids and gently wrapped his paw, his eyes stayed open, watching, tracking, flinching with every movement around him. I sat beside the table, elbows on my knees, still in my turnout gear, smelling like smoke and rubber, wondering how a German Shepherd puppy had ended up in a dumpster fire and why no one came looking for him. He didn't cry, didn't bark, just blinked slowly, as if his body was still catching up to the fact that he'd been saved. When I reached toward him with my bare hand, he stiffened. But I didn't stop. I let him sniff me, slow, careful. Then I gently scratched behind his ear, the one not singed at the tip. That's when it happened. He sighed, a deep, shaky little breath, and let his head drop against my palm. That sound broke me more than anything else. It reminded me of something I hadn't let myself feel in years, since the night our old shepherd, Max, died in a fire I couldn't get to in time. My son was 6, Max had been his shadow, and I hadn't let myself get close to another dog since. Not at the station, not at home. But Finch didn't care about my past. He was here now, and he needed someone. Dr. Myers, the vet, gave him a careful exam. Burns are superficial. Paw pads will take some time. He's dehydrated and scared. But I think he's a fighter. I nodded, still watching him breathe. His fur was mottled with soot, but underneath he had that rich black and tan coat, classic for a German Shepherd puppy. His ears were mismatched, one standing tall, the other floppy. His whiskers looked like someone had singed them with a lighter, but his eyes were sharp, present, surviving. The tech brought in a heated blanket and a small bowl of water. I helped lower Finch into a crate lined with clean towels. He limped a little, then circled once before curling into a ball, still keeping one eye open. The piece of cloth, the one with the name Lily, I hadn't let go of it. It was barely bigger than a handkerchief, torn and filthy. But something about it felt important, like